Greetings from the void. My name is Nullamore, which basically translates to unlovable, and this is Journey Through Miro. And these are my boys who are now going to introduce themselves. Say hello, boys.
Hi,
Hello, boys. It'll never get old.
Oh, sorry. I'm Steven Stoll. On TikTok, Steven Stoll. On YouTube, Lone Jedi 100. I also do my own D&D thing. I am fairly out of it because I almost got heat stroke today, and I am now home from a Civil War reenactment, which is in general tiring. Now I'm here. Yay!
We're just gonna call you Drunken Sailor from now on.
What?
What will you do with him?
We'll figure that out early in the morning.
Let's go to stop.
So, hello. I am the Black Doctor, also playing Balgroth the Dark in Journey Through Miro. You can also find me on multiple other D&D campaigns. You can also find me on TikTok at Black Doctor 21, as well as my Instagram and YouTube under the name The Black Doctor. You can also find me on Patreon, where I do a whole bunch of other stuff there. So, yeah.
Coming soon to an episcopate near you.
Hello, everyone. I am Captain Calvinist. I'm playing Kono Yudai, the residential samurai of the group. You can find me anywhere on social media labeled as Captain Calvinist or Captain Insert specific hobby interest here. And that will probably be me because it's my trademark, or should be at least. Patent pending or trademark pending. I run another D&D session that has all these people in it as well. You should go check that out at some point.
Looks at specific hobby. I'm the captain now.
I'm Dale Jitsu on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram in that order. And I play the role of Isaiah Yeager, Magus Extraordinaire, Scholar of the Highest Order, and the DPR of the party. So, yeah.
DPR?
Damage per round.
I think you're lying to me.
Whoa. Given that your average is 0 for the last 2-3 sessions, I don't think you can be talking.
Hey, my KDR is still pretty good.
So who wants to give a recap of the last episode?
We took a little trip in a boat and not a ship. And we found a halfway town and looked around and found out that there was once a tavern, I believe owned by, I almost used the wrong character, by Apostle. And they're wondering, his family is apparently wondering where he's gone, and has some inheritance stuff for him.
Also,
and
drink some magic water.
Yeah, and apparently the former bar and inn fell to someone who is not like that stuff, and so Yip Yap has been a little miffed, but he got to sell some of his useless crossbow bolts that he never uses to get some much needed munes, along with some drinks, or actually along with he did manage to find some, and yeah, we got enlisted in we enrolled in a caber toss competition.
Anyone have anything to add to that?
Oh yeah, Kano drinks some magic water and it turns basically everybody else's perception of him into, basically him being an aggressive jerk.
Anyone else have anything to add?
I think that's it.
The prize for this contest is a great axe.
Oh yeah.
Which Kono will willingly give to Balgroth.
I'm a little sad none of y'all brought up the literal god y'all saw in the last episode, but okay.
Oh yeah, you guys saw Gyarados.
A dodo.
I've been waiting to make that joke since I saw it.
Well, I thought we saw an underling of the story named Lix.
You saw a minor
Cloud
god.
Shepherd.
It's still a god.
Oh, it's still a god.
Yeah, it's a minor
Yip Yap
god.
was on a cloud.
Well, it's a minor god. We can't be interacting with a minor god. We have to wait until it turns 18.
Why?
Come on.
Wait, no, it's still a minor. Kato could still slap it, and he'd think it's okay.
Oh, it's okay in his culture.
If it breathes, we can
And
abuse
then
it.
somewhere in
Oh
the
my
distance, Shijin is just
God.
thinking, finally, another one to add to my title is God Killer.
Okay.
Your title of God Killer. Wrong campaign. Wrong.
So
I know I said somewhere.
Then you could just literally brag about it at any time if you felt like it. It's great.
So we zoom back in on the small, sleepy town of Pernith, where our party has recently just been invited to partake in a caber toss competition that is going to start as the sun sets that day. It is also, to start off, Kano, you are no longer under the effects of the pond, so stop being weird. And it is about
He has no chin now.
He makes no promises.
you guys still have about a quarter of the day before the sun sets and the competition begins. And you can see kind of like not too far away, but out of the bounds of the current map you're looking at. They're setting up the competition field for the caber toss.
Yip Yap is gonna snoop around so that he can see if he can learn what a caber toss actually is.
Ball growth. I think we need to hit the weight room.
Balgroth.
So while they're having their swole montage,
He looks at him, just shrugs, and says, "Fine, okay."
Let's go
All right.
find heavy things and lift them.
Okay.
I pick them up and put them down.
So, Yip Yap roll an investigation, and for Kano and Balgroth, the only if you want to exercise, there's just if you go to the blacksmith, there's a bunch of heavy stuff there. But other than that, there's not a gym in this town.
Wait,
There's
does
a bunch of street-
Balgroth have to be showed the form to the cobber toss? Does Balgroth know how to actually do a cobber toss?
Aba.
Balgroth says, "Well, remind me. Refresh my memory."
I'm going to go get us logs, and I'm going to show you how to cobber toss.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, y'all do that.
We work
There's
on
some.
that.
There's some firewood not too far from the blacksmith with a couple of fallen logs still waiting to be chopped up, so y'all can use those as practice. Yip Yap, your investigation really doesn't get you much. You kind of walk around the competition field, but they just kind of have stripped trees there and some chairs are being set up. But you notice that Balgroth and Kano are practicing, so you can watch them to understand what's happening.
What are they doing? What do I see?
They're practicing caber tossing, which, as far as that goes, it's up to them. Isaiah, what are you doing?
Probably not winning the contest of strength. Yeah, I will. I think for now I'll just observe. Make sure nothing's amiss. Have some detect magic on at all times. Just see what's up.
We'll let you
Alright.
know when we find a contest of mid.
You talking a lot of smack for someone within magic missile range.
Isaiah,
I can
roll a perception, please.
All right.
Is the game rigged? The magic caber.
Load, dang it. Are you said perception?
Yes.
Promise to God, right hand on the Bible.
Ooh.
Oh, I need some caffeine. I'll be right back.
That's not good. I don't think I see anything.
No, nothing really seems amiss. There's just some people moving about, getting stuff ready. Stores are open, and some of the townsfolk, sparse townfolk, like humans, elves, half-elves, those types of things, just kind of walking around, going about their daily business. Nothing too out of the ordinary.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So for this competition, would having the powerful build trait do anything at all for it?
Remind me what that is.
So I count as one size larger when determining the weight I can push, drag, or lift.
I'll say that you have advantage when we get to the competition.
So how comprehensive an understanding of the caber toss does Yip Yap get from their practicing?
Okay. So Balgra, whenever you throw the log, all right, you're going to get sort of like a hop and a skip, all right, before you actually go and throw it. So Kana is going to kind of like lift and demonstrate with a smaller like log how you're supposed to hold it from the bottom.
Yip Yap snaps some pictures to blackmail later. No.
And then you run a bit and toss it. And Kana just kind of like runs a bit and he tosses the log, lifting it up and shooting it up into the air. He launches it as far as he can.
Balgroth sort of looks at him and then looks at the log, then silently moves over to imitate him, grips it, and then, without even taking a few steps, just lifts it straight from the bottom up
Oh.
and sends it flying into the air.
Okay. Now just remember, it also has to go horizontal, not straight up. That's why
He takes a few steps back as it starts to fall, and he just simply nods.
If it goes straight in the air, it's not getting distance. It needs to get distance, which is why we hop and skip forward.
Awesome. And he turns to see what other heavy stuff he can lift, and so he begins to walk into, I think it was the smithy.
Yip Yap hides.
In the blacksmith, there's just a couple things. He's got like a decently sized anvil, more made for a human than than the anvil that Legavin has in Retcher. And he has kind of like a furnace and a smelting area for the metals that he makes. It's kind of a sparsely decorated blacksmith, but there's definitely like lumps of metal and just crates and things that are possibly really heavy.
He immediately goes to try to lift up the anvil.
The blacksmith is currently not there right now, so as you lift it up, roll just a straight strength check.
Hey.
Okay. It is like in the ground a little bit, but you managed to budge it out of the ground and kind of lift it up a little bit. So, as you kind of lift it up a little bit out of the ground, but the task of getting it out of the ground to begin with kind of exhausts you too much to lift it any further.
He smirks and shrugs and goes to lift up some other things that he finds around.
All right. So Yip Yap, you're just following him around?
Yeah.
Balgrath, roll a perception, please.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't notice the tiny lizard trailing you as you walk around this blacksmith. He's like hiding behind suits of armor and like rusted stuff in the blacksmith. Kano, what are you doing? Are you following
Kano?
Did you just go
Kano is practicing his form because form matters.
So, Isaiah, you're just kind of walking around, doing things.
Throwing fireballs everywhere, magic missiles.
Yes.
making his own fireworks.
Yes.
As you just kind of walk around the town observing, you start to, with your detect magic on, you start to feel this presence of divination getting gradually closer and closer to the town. It's not terribly strong, but it's a definite like change in the air.
Interesting. I'm going to keep an eye out for anything, particularly weird that I might see. Any manifestations.
And you also kind of get a hint of transmutation magic from the bakery. Yeah.
Interesting. What are they doing in this bakery? I'm going to go to the bakery.
All right.
Is the bakery this one over here?
No, that's the grocer. Bakery's down this way. So you look inside and you see a kind of a middle-aged, almost human woman who's, how tall are you?
We'll say 5'10".
She's a little bit shorter than you, not by much. Kind of average looks, and she's currently leaning over a countertop kneading bread dough. As you can smell bread being cooked in one of the ovens off to the side.
Do I observe anything transmutation-ish in the area?
So the transmutation magic that you sense, it seems to be coming from further into the bakery. That's kind of a part of the back area that customers don't go into.
Interesting. You know what? I'd like to have my familiar turn into a. See, I'll turn my familiar into a mouse.
Okay.
And I need to make a new token, and I wanted to see if it can scurry in to the back.
Roll a stealth for your familiar.
I'll be right back.
She doesn't notice.
All right. Does it see anything back here?
So what the familiar finds back there is it kind of finds like a small chest of different types of coin, like copper, silver, and gold. Like the money that she's gained from selling bread, most likely. There's a couple crates, a couple shelves where the ingredients to make bread dough are resting, and wrapped up bread is also sitting. And just things like that. Average.
Nothing out of the ordinary?
Nope.
Okay, well, I'll sort of walk up to the woman. Oh, hello, ma'am. I see you're making bread.
She kind of stops and cleans her hands off, looks at you. Yes, I am the baker. Do you want some bread?
Possibly. My friends are taking part in a contest, so they may want some refreshments afterwards. So I was just curious to see what was available in town.
Well, I was just working on some loaves. As soon as the next shipment of fruit comes in, I'll be making some pies. And other than that, I just kind of make bread and bread-like things.
Man, whatever
Lovely.
Cabercos is making, it sure builds up a racket.
Bread.
Yes, interesting.
I'm just stuck on bread.
And just curious, how long does your bread usually keep for?
Bread.
Welcome to the bread store. We got bread. We got
bread,
loaves.
we sell loaves.
Got
What's the
bread.
situation?
Need a baguette and a brioche. We don't got either of those.
Bread.
God, I know that whole thing by heart. Anyway, well, the way I store my bread, it lasts for about a week, typically. And well, pies last a shorter amount of time because you got fruit things in it, and you got to cook it and reheat it, and just simple things.
Of course. No, I understand. All right. Well, thank you. We may also have a journey ahead of us, so we may well patronize the area. Oh, before I go, is there a place in this village that has any sort of magic ink that I might purchase, or ink that could be used in a spell book?
Magic ink. I don't know. There's not many magic users around here. If you want something fancy like that, you'd have to go up north to Colebrook's, the closest town here, and I know that they have all sorts of magical things and people. They used to have that school up there, but it burned down, I heard. It's horrible.
Yes, shame. Can't imagine what kind of savage would burn down a school. But all right, so there's no one in this town that is familiar with magic.
Well, if those men come back, they seemed rather, well, they creeped me out a little bit, to be fair, but they definitely spoke of magical things with their religious ideals.
Interesting. Were they monks of some sort?
Well, I couldn't really tell. One of them had big old robes on him, and the other man was just wearing a basic kind of tunic shirt, I guess. They looked to be from the east.
Interesting.
And they came through here yesterday. They were talking about getting some bread and things to go sightseeing or another. But as far as I know, they haven't come back for their things yet up in the inn.
Oh, interesting. Well, perhaps if I see them, I'll interact with them. Well, thank you very much, and hopefully we will return post haste. All right. Yeah, I guess I'll walk out and get the mouse out as well. And then back to the crow, and then I'll just keep looking around, seeing if. Well, you know what? I'll go to. Is there still a door on this side, or is that just not really part of it?
What? Oh,
is there a door right here?
That door is locked.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then for now, I'm going to just move about the town.
All right. Back to Kano Balgroth Yip Yap. Kano, what are you up to? You still practicing?
Yeah, Kano's going to be practicing. He's going to take a break every once in a while to get some water. Is there like any stone around?
There are some like boulders out into the fields. You have your wagon, which is pretty heavy.
I don't feel like destroying our means of transportation.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, there's just some boulders further out into the fields. Balgroth, what about you?
He's gonna walk out of the smithy, still sort of proud of himself. He notices Kano, using the chalk, and he goes and imitates that, and then tries to start tossing the trees, trying to get a distance better than Kano.
As you leave the blacksmith, a couple minutes after you leave, you kind of just hear, "What happened to my anvil?" come from the blacksmith as a man kind of runs out and starts looking around.
Balgroth acts like he did not hear a thing and just continues what he's doing.
All right.
And then he walked around.
Yep. What about you?
And then he
Yip
walked
Yap.
away. Waddle.
Yip Yap is still just following Balgroth to learn from his father figure.
Papa, teach me.
Father,
Papa.
what are you doing? Come here,
Papa.
son. I shall teach you how to do strength training. You shall get many maidens through this.
But Papa, I only want the kobold in Sione.
Then you shall attract her too.
But yeah. So with the three of you kind of out of the town's limits by a little bit, I need to stop playing with that. You guys notice two people kind of walking down a path that will lead into the town, and they're just talking to each other. And it seems like they're walking more towards the competition field than the actual town.
What is? I'll sneak closer. What are they talking about?
Roll stealth. Wow. Okay.
Not bad.
So they don't notice you. You manage to like just kind of duck into the tall grass as you follow them. You notice
I weave through like a snake.
well, Dale's gone.
Like a snake.
So you know, as you get closer, it gets more clear that one of the men is very short, and he is covered in these blue cloaks that are kind of obscuring his body frame. But he doesn't have the hood on, so you can see he has long white hair, kind of in a braid that goes over his shoulder.
Dante?
And he's talking with a taller, younger-looking man who has kind of golden hair that is curling around his neck and shoulders. And they're kind of talking to each other. You also notice the shorter man. He's smiling, like, I mean, people smile, you know this, but he's smiling in a way that just doesn't seem correct. And partially covering that smile is a very well-groomed handlebar mustache.
Ooh. This is the weirdest comment. I'm picturing like the old animated D&D dungeon master, but Tom Selleck.
Oh my god. But yeah, the younger looking man is kind of craning his neck down to listen to whatever the shorter man is saying as they kind of walk more into the field. And as they kind of get close enough to you, you hear them, they're kind of just talking about their day, and they mention a cavern that they recently went to that's further down the path they're on. They were talking about how nice it was and how interesting the cave was. And they're talking about a gate of some kind, but they're not really giving enough information for you to understand the context.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're going that way. And
I'll follow them until I've heard all I need to hear and scurry back.
yeah, they're just kind of talking, and the older man refers to the younger man as Baron from time to time, but Baron doesn't really give a name towards the shorter gentleman other than Sir or things like that.
Why is it though? Why did that instantly bring me to Street Fighter?
As the day kind of goes on, the hours creep by, the sun begins to set, and people start making their way towards the competition field. And
I want to have. I'm sorry. We didn't clearly establish this last time. EFF wants to enter the competition.
Right. Yes. You. Yes.
Is there like a registration booth?
So, do you want to join the proper competition, or did you want to join the junior version of the competition?
I want Yip Yap to covertly have signed himself up, but he accidentally signed himself up for the junior version. It's like he just snuck in there and like got an ink print of his palm.
So, Yeah, the registrations are kind of sitting next to each other on this table. And yeah, you just kind of accidentally sign on to the junior version.
It's too tall. I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Hit something.
So most of the town begins kind of making their way over to the competition field. Kano Balgroth, you notice this, so you start going as well. Like the entire town is there. There's some kids doing like a junior version of the caber toss off to the side. The actual competition has cabers already laid out for the competitors to take like their pick. And as you guys walk over to it, you see that Tristan, the mayor, is kind of standing on this wooden crate. His arms are spread. He's very excited about this. And he's like greeting people that come by. And he kind of like, he gestures for Kano and Balgroth to get closer. And he kind of like leans down and he just goes, all right, so the competitors, they're starting over there. So just go stand over there and wait. And then he looks to Yip Yap. I noticed like a scaly like thumbprint on the junior submission. Did you want to go join that, son?
Oops. Oh. Okay. Sure.
Well, the kids are already going at that, so you can just join and have fun with that. Just fully believes Yip Yap is a child. So
I do kind of obscure my appearance. I could just be like a very young dragonborn.
oh, there he is.
Hello.
Okay, yes. And so with Kano and Balgroth going off to where the competitors are standing, already there is the blacksmith, Frederick, and the taller, younger man that Yip Yap was observing by the name of Baron. He's also standing there. Yip Yap goes up towards the junior caber toss, where there's already like 3 children just kind of like, there's no structure. They're just picking up and throwing like short pieces of log that would be used for like a fireplace eventually.
Okay. I need a roll to determine something for myself.
Okay, and Isaiah, you head to the basic just audience. They have some chairs set up. They're not entirely comfortable, but you know, they're just outdoor seating. You notice that along with the people from the village that are sitting there, there are 2 men seated there that are wearing kind of not fancy, but like clearly more put together outfits that you would recognize the like officials from Colebrook to wear. And they're kind of sitting up in the front row. But yes, and I would like everyone to roll a perception check, please. Kano, so Balgroth, you're kind of just like staring straight ahead. But Kano, you're like looking around as you get ready, and you notice that Baron, you don't know his name, but the gentleman aside from Frederick has taken a flask off of his like belt, and he like downs the entire flask before putting it back on his belt, and kind of just shakes out his body for a second in like preparation to get ready.
Kano's how far is the mayor from Kano?
So the mayor is currently, he's making his way to the center of the field, which is a good bit away from where y'all are currently standing.
Are there any other officials that are around, or is it just the mayor?
So you wouldn't recognize any other officials because, I mean, I did state that there are, I guess, essentially judges from Colebrook sitting in the front row, but you wouldn't know that. They just kind of look more put together. They kind of look like the way Isaiah dresses.
Okay. How far is Isaiah from Kano?
Oh, Isaiah, what row? There's 3 rows of seating.
I'll be in the back row.
All right, so you're pretty far. Y'all can see each other, but talking would be difficult unless you're yelling.
So Kano's gonna wave towards Isaiah to come here.
I wave back. I walk down and sort of go to the front and say, "Oh, what's going on, Kano?"
Hey, do you think you could stay in the front? That gentleman over there, he consumed something that I'm not entirely sure on its fairness for the competition.
Is he a competitor?
This may seem like it.
Well, then what do I got to do from the front row?
If it's a potion, it's magical.
I'm
Don't you know Dispel?
working on it.
God damn it.
I know this spell and that spell.
Can you at
Also-
least can you at least
Maybe if you hadn't burned down my school, I could have learned it by now. Now get out there and win something,
What?
and I'll check out the potion. And I shove him away, and I turn on Detect Magic and look at the gentleman.
So as you do that, you don't see any magical aura coming off of him particularly. But when you go back to sit down, you notice also in the front row with these judges from Colebrook is the short, middle-aged man with the thick blue robes. He's also kind of sitting up there, and his hands are covered by the sleeves of the robe. And you feel divination magic coming from that man. But yes, at this point, we are going to take a 15-minute break. I'm going to attempt not to scream at my neighbors, and instead I'm going to take some medicine. I will see you guys in a second.
Why don't they just make the retro gaming cinematic universe? You could also throw in
because Yip the
Big
last
man.
time we got it, the last time they did that, we got Wreck-It Ralph.
But see, that's not actually a retro gaming cinematic universe. That's Pixar being like, what if video games had feelings? And then making up all their own video games.
What if feelings
Okay.
had feelings?
I'm
What if
gonna be real
feelings
with
had
you.
feelings?
There's only 1 or 2 video games in there that's actually fake.
That's true.
Yeah, those are real.
What if being fake had feelings?
It does.
That's just called Kingdom Hearts. They're an entire race. They're called nobodies. If
What
books had feelings.
What if feelings had feelings?
No, they already did that.
Called Inside Out.
Yeah. That was just Osmosis Jones, but not as good.
That's what if cells had feelings.
Okay.
See, VeggieTales is
That's
just what if
Osmosis
food had.
Jones.
See, VeggieTales is just what if food had feelings, and those feelings were mostly about God.
What if food became Christians?
Now notice they never say that any of the vegetables are saved.
What if
Because we're not allowed to
food?
imply that a vegetable could have a relationship with Jesus.
That's
What if
true,
food
that's
became
true.
Christian?
What if food started feeling each other? That's, I think, what the premise of that is.
Yo.
Yo.
Oh, God.
No, the idea is, what if food didn't want to be eaten?
Okay, you know what? I know Brave Little Toaster already did this, but what if they did what if furniture had feelings?
That's
Is
true.
Coco supposed to be what if bones had feelings?
Oh no!
You don't want to know. You
We're
don't
getting.
want to.
Oh god!
I
why
do
would
love
you
that they
say
had the
that
classic
on live?
jeans and red
Why
sweatshirt
would
kid.
you say that?
No,
live?
because I heard at first what if food had feelings, and my first thought was, are they talking about Sausage Party or Food Fight? And then I heard that, and it just got
I'd ra-
worse.
I'm gonna
Just
be
wait
honest
till you
with you,
listen
man.
back.
I'd rather have Food Fight. I
Mm.
would honestly rather have Food Fight because Food Fight
This
is one of the
summer.
most, if not the most, worst animated movie of all time.
So funny.
But it's
I
still
mean-
better than Sausage
I'm
Party.
just kidding.
Is that Charlie Sheen who plays the dog, right?
Yes.
God.
Yeah.
This summer, what if I had feelings?
I
What
heard
if Jay had
It's
feelings?
literally just the moral of ugly people don't deserve happiness.
Honestly.
What?
What is?
That's what Food Fight is.
The moral of Food Fight is basically ugly people don't deserve happiness.
And also buy, capitalism, buy.
Okay,
Back
guys.
to something we
It
like.
is July 4th. That means we have to play Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Back
No,
to something
it
we
does not.
like. What if kobolds had feelings?
That's just called
Dude.
Yip Yap, dude.
That's called Dragon Tales.
Yes! Yes!
Yip yap tails, yip yap tails.
Or,
right.
Puff
Yip
the-
yap doesn't have a tail.
What's that
Puff
one?
the Magic Dragon.
Puff the Magic Dragon, yeah.
Yip yap doesn't have any tail.
Or Jake the Green Dragon.
Jake Long, American Dragon.
All
Oh
classic.
my gosh, yes!
Jake Long, American Dragon, known friend of Lilo and Stitch.
Right.
Because that crossover changed my life.
Is
That
Disney.
made so
Is
much
the
sense.
Disney.
Lilo and Stitch was the bomb. I did not like the art change in Jake Long though. I prefer the original style.
They changed it for the crossover?
No,
No,
they
they
changed
didn't
it sometime
change it.
after the crossover.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I
like
think
in
it was the
between
second season.
seasons, they changed the art style. I didn't really notice, I'll be completely honest.
They announced it and like had a skit about it.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I thanks. I hate it.
You need to edit. You need to cut that and edit that and publish that bit, but censored slightly, probably.
Whatever. Okay,
That's
so
great.
Just because I'm in it doesn't mean you have to censor it.
Well, that's why.
I'm sorry, you just keep reminding me of this character from a show.
Go on.
So do you know what Clone High is?
I want a party platter.
So then they made a new season of Clone High. I'm not going to talk about this too much, but there's a new character in the reboot called Topher Bust, and you just act exactly like him. So I'm going to move on from that topic right now. So we come back to the game. Everyone is getting ready. Balgroth and Kano are like at the ready part with Baron and Frederick. Isaiah is. Are you still in the third row, or have you moved up to the front row as Kano?
I moved up to the front. Yeah, I'm at the front now.
Okay. So when you go up to the front row, those two judges from Colebrook, they kind of look at you for like a second, as if trying to decide something, and then they just shake their heads and go back to talking to each other. But the man in blue robes with the long white hair braided over his shoulder, he kind of smiles at you and gives like a very friendly wave, and then puts his hand back inside of his sleeves. And Yip Yap, you are currently participating in the junior caber toss.
Yeah, in perfect form, as I saw Balgroth do.
Yes.
Yip Yap picks up the caber and goes, "What's this?" and promptly launches it straight up in the air
Incredible.
with all his might.
So as we get started, Tristan makes his way into the middle of the field, and he does like just a very casual like kind of bow to like greet everyone who's watching and things like that. And he speaks very loudly because he doesn't have a megaphone, and it's just basic things. And he says, "Welcome, everyone, to the first annual caber toss of Pernith. Today, our strong contestants," and he gestures towards the four men standing at the edge of the field, including Pernith's own Frederick Mistsplitter, along with 3 travelers who have generously offered their strength for tonight's entertainment. And he kind of like unfolds a piece of paper and like looks at it very closely. Kana UD, Balgraf, and Baron. And then he folds it back up and puts it back in his pocket.
We should have asked for a spelling check.
I'm sorry. I just had to do that joke. I find it so funny. And
Nolan Gooby.
he just looks over at you guys with like a really big smile, and he's so proud of himself. And then he gestures towards the juniors field and says, as well as the children of this town will be participating in their own junior version of the caber toss. Each child will be rewarded with a trading coin upon completion of the competition. And we also have a traveler participating in that as well. And he looks at the sheet. where you did not sign your name, you just put a thumbprint, and he puts it back in his pocket. Yes. So,
We'll do it live.
let the games begin. And he quickly runs off, and Frederick is the first to step up. He like rubs his hands together. He's like so hyped about this. And he approaches the caber that's in front of him. He manages to pick it up pretty okay. And he balances it out, and then he takes a few steps forwards, tosses it. It flips over, but it falls to the side, which is not the intended result of this game. So he doesn't. Some people give some light claps, mostly the townsfolk. And Isaiah, I guess. And he just kind of like nods and steps back. He's like kind of disappointed in himself, but he's happy that he didn't at least like fail.
You're the reason your father left the family.
And then after him, Baron steps up. And he picks up that caber with such ease, practiced ease, and puts it against his shoulder, runs, launches it, but it also falls. Kind of straighter, but still off to the side, so he doesn't really get the point. And the only person that like really claps is the older man in the blue cloak, but you can't see his hands clapping, but you can hear them well enough. And with that, the first up from them is Balgroth. You step up to the caber, and Balgroth, I need you to roll a strength save, please. So, yes, you are able to pick it up very easily from your practice with Kano, and you're just strong, you know. Anyway, so yeah, you managed to pick it up. You balanced it out very well. And can you roll in athletics for me?
Okay. Can I use my inspiration to re-roll that?
Yes, you can. You also have a +2 that you can use.
Would the +2 actually just make it better, or would it probably be best if I re-rolled it?
You can do whatever you want.
That doesn't help. You know what? I'm just going to use my +2 to make it a 13.
All right. So with that 13, it doesn't fall at the 12 o'clock position that is the goal of this game. It falls off to the side, kind of in the similar way that Baron's fell. And he gets some light claps, but you do not get the point.
He rolls his eyes.
You step back, and Kano, you step up, and can you roll a strength save for me, please?
Will this be with the advantage?
Yes. Jesus! Okay.
Jeez!
So, yeah, you pick it up like nothing. Okay, God, roll in athletics. Unfortunately, it doesn't land at the desired position. And no one gets the point for this round. And yep, can you roll a strength save, please, for the junior version of this game?
We're all strong, but we got no aim.
Don't worry, Balgroth. It's just a warm-up.
Just watches it as it goes up.
You have some trouble picking it up. But, you know, that's just what happens. You manage to pick it up and throw it. Roll athletics. Not bad. So, with that roll, the kids, like, who are playing with you, they give you polite claps. And the baker, Genevieve, she walks over and, like, pets you on the head and gives you 3 coins.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. There's just a bug of some sort in my room now, and I'm upset about it. But
We were talking to it. I was just expecting like a bumblebee. It's like, hey, so
Hey, how you doing?
it just like it hit my computer and then went over around me. So
Am I bugging you?
So that leads us to the second round. Once again, Frederick and Baron, they managed to complete but they don't quite get at the 12 o'clock position. And so that brings us back to Balgroth. Another strength save, please.
Yep. Ah, kid.
Well, projectile dysfunction.
You managed to pick it up. There's a lot of struggle and balancing issues with picking it up. Where it almost falls over, but doesn't quite. And so you
Not used
managed
to handling wood of that size.
and roll in athletics.
This is just not a good roll for me.
You still have inspiration.
Yeah, I guess I'll use my inspiration for it.
Hey!
Right. So even though it was a bit of a struggle to pick it up and throw it, it lands at the 12 o'clock position, which means you get the first point of the competition, which puts you in the lead. And there's like a bunch of clapping, and Isaiah, you notice that the judges from Colbrook are like writing stuff down, and the man in the blue robes is like, he starts looking kind of nervous now. And Kano, can you roll a strength save? You, again, as well, I should say, struggle with picking it up and balancing it. Roll in athletics. But you throw it. It doesn't land at the correct position, so you just get polite claps once again. Yep, can you do a strength save in athletics?
Oh, okay.
Ooh, nice.
I just launched it straight up with full force.
Yeah, you managed to throw it straight up, but it lands facing you, so you don't get any coins.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
But I made it go really high upward. Oh.
Genevieve kind of pats you on the head again. That was good, but that's not the point of the game.
Wait, not?
Frederick and Baron go again. Now that like the exhaustion is starting to get to them of having done this already, and they kind of struggle with picking it up, but Frederick manages to get it in the 12 o'clock position, giving him a point as well, but Baron is not able to. So Balgroth, give me a strength save in athletics, please. So yeah, you pick it up, you throw it, and it lands in that 12 o'clock position. So that's another point to you. And Kano, a strength save in athletics, please.
Do I notice the guy with sleeves casting anything like a guidance or a bless or a resistance?
Roll perception. Kano, you get it in the 12 o'clock as well, which gives you a point as well. And that ends the main competition, ending with Balgroth with 2 points, Kano with 1, and Frederick with 1, Baron with none. And he looks very upset about it, like very angry about it. Isaiah, you notice that after all is said and done, and Baron is like very just kind of angrily walking away from the field, the man in the blue robes, his like the sleeves fall down a little bit as he like raises up his hands, and you notice that he's holding a rosary of sorts. And you can see the little charms on this rosary with your memory. You recognize them to almost be identical matches to those symbols that you saw carved into the back of the mausoleum back in Retcher. Genevieve leaves the juniors field and she walks over to where Balgroth, Kano, and Frederick are still standing, and Baron has walked off. And she's holding a great axe that has a kind of sleek black blade with a onyx gem embedded into the not the hilt, but like the piece that's holding the axe in. And she hands it to you with a smile. Congratulations.
I smile and take it. Thank you.
And she kind of goes back to Tristan, and they talk for a while. And the competition is now over, and Yip Yip has won a total of 3 coins.
We shall make sure to tell him.
Yes. But yeah, now y'all are free to just collect your things. Oh, as the men from Colebrook get up, they kind of walk past Isaiah, and one of them stops, and he just kind of looks at you, Isaiah. I'm sorry, son. This may seem kind of odd, but where are you from? You look very familiar to someone I knew when I was younger.
Instant Hamilton, I'm not your son.
Do I recognize this guy?
Roll a history. You recognize him as one of the other students from the university. You didn't talk to him very much, but he was in a couple of your classes.
I think that you and I may have had some classes together.
Oh, did you go to Strixhaven?
Is that the name?
That's what I heard you say the other day.
I said that as a different school. We went to the same one. Yes.
Okay. I guess I'll come up with a name for it later.
Excellent.
Um,
Dale Academy
yeah.
of Excellence. Fireproof state.
Would you happen to know anything about the fire that happened there?
My understanding is that there was some savages from a far-off land that were coming for revenge or something, but I wasn't. I was actually on my way out anyway when they got there, so I was not present for the entirety of the event.
Lucky. Not many students got out of that fire, unfortunately.
How did you get out?
Oh, I was sick that day.
Ah.
Thank the Tellurian, but
Oh.
I did lose a few of my friends.
I'm quite sorry. It's always very sad when people respond with needless violence.
Yes. What was your name, by the way?
Oh, Isaiah Yeager.
And he just kind of like pauses for a second, and the guy he's with also kind of like turns around. I'm sorry, did you say Jaeger?
Yes.
Right. Well, are you on your way to Colebrook?
I don't think we are we?
I mean, you don't
Where?
have to go there, but it's on the way up. So you would realistically pass it.
Yeah, well, at the very least,
Armor.
we are passing that way, probably, yes. Why do you ask?
Well, I shouldn't be the one to tell you this, but your family home, it's gone.
Gone, you said.
Yes.
As in destroyed?
It was burned down last week.
By whom?
We don't know. It happened during the night, and no bodies were recovered, unfortunately. Although your butler made it out.
Butler. Dang. We got a butler. What happened to him?
Well, he's currently staying in a very kind soul's home at the moment, but he's not too well, you know.
Well, I can imagine. I suppose I'll visit and investigate what happened. Burned to the ground.
Well, it was nice to see another would-be graduate, I guess.
Yes, well,
Have a
I attempted to continue my education elsewhere, and I wish you the best. Thanks for the update.
Blessed be. And he walks off with his friend.
Now that's
Okay.
potentially a bad thing.
Cool. Yep, you got 3 coins. They're not, as you look at them, they're not actual coins. They're not copper, silver, gold, or anything like that. They're made out of some like bronze type of metal with a image kind of stamped into it of a little house.
Oh, Mother told me never to take alloy nickels.
Shoo, I thought it was chocolate.
And
Oh wait, yeah, you kept trying to find the chocolates, the seam to get to the chocolate.
it's not a chocolate coin.
Oh.
But with Kano, Genevieve is talking with Frederick for a little while, and then she walks over to you, Kano. I'm sorry that you didn't win, but runners-up also get a prize. So here you go. And she hands you kind of something that's been wrapped in cloth, and then walks back over to Frederick.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Kondo's gonna kind of unwrap it a bit.
When you unwrap it, you find that it is just a clay tobacco pipe. It looks pretty aged, but not used.
Well, like I said that axe would be Balgroth's. Guess I'm just that out of practice.
So you hand it to me?
No, the axe was yours, Balgroth.
Okay.
Either way, it wouldn't have mattered if I won. Though I don't smoke tobacco.
Are we reunited now?
Though I think I do know someone that does, so I'll hold on to this pipe.
Yeah, after everyone is kind of dispersed and things, the only two people left on the field other than y'all are Tristan and Genevieve, who are just kind of talking to each other. And Genevieve seems a little angry at Tristan in the way that she's talking with him.
Drama.
I'm too busy staring at my new axe to care.
Yeah, it's
Can
a
I,
basic great axe. There's
take a look
nothing
at the
extremely
axe?
special about it.
Balgroth, may I take a look at that axe for a moment?
Why?
I want to see if there's anything special about it.
He hesitates, but hands it to him.
All right, are you using detect magic then?
Yeah, I'll use that and investigate.
All right. The axe you are currently holding has necromancy magic coming off of it, and you glean with the identify spell that this object also accrues necrotic damage when used.
Interesting. Now, when you say accrues, you mean like it deals it or like the wielder takes it?
How specific is this identify spell?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, no.
Well, look at that. It doesn't specify, so I'm not gonna.
You learn its properties and how to use them.
You've learned its property. It's been used. You use it by using it. I don't understand.
All right. You swing it. It's an axe.
I will have to play the toss-up game. Well, I already have holy magic, so I'll be able to heal myself.
It's unhealable necrotic damage.
Oh, that's just crap. That's. I was gonna say grating on the bottom, boy.
Y'all can. It's well past sunset by now. There's a full moon in the sky, and alongside it is a waxing gibbous moon, smaller, but also in the sky.
2 moons.
When the moon hits the sky and there's
So-
more moon inside it.
Kondo is gonna go to this. It's amore.
What is happening?
Armageddon.
Kondo's gonna go to the tree that's kind of like in front of that fireplace right there. He's gonna
Yeah.
sit down and he's gonna pull out his flute and he's gonna start to play it
Roll a performance check.
to himself.
And suddenly it becomes Majora's Mask.
And then the phantom rats come in again.
They pour out of the inn and just all over on them.
Rat.
Yeah, it's not awful, but people aren't like gathering around you to listen. by any means.
Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah, that's the sound of mid.
Kano does it for himself, not for other people.
We don't do it for you.
We don't do it for you.
As you all kind of walk back to the...
You sounded so upset.
I'm fine. I'm just crying on the inside.
Fine, I'm fine. Just roll initiative.
those two men, the one with the white hair and the taller one, kind of approach you. Wait, hold on. I actually have little tokens for these guys. Blap, blap. There you go.
And by the way, later on, can you see me the stats for that axe?
It's a basic grade axe, but yeah, I'll give you the rundown of it after the session.
Sweet.
So the man in blue robes, he's kind of quiet, but he has like a smile on his hands or like in between his sleeves again as he smiles at the four of you. But Baron, now that you all know his name as he was announced during the competition, he kind of walks up to Balgroth and just kind of like squares his shoulders. I know that you won that, but I was hoping, to also win it. How much?
None.
Was it Balgraph was your name?
Balgroth.
Right. Baron, I am willing to pay to take that off of your hands. I'm sure that you have a myriad of weapons. I don't have any weapons. And I'm traveling with my father, and I want to keep him safe.
There are other weapons at the shop. Buy one.
There's weapons at home.
Would you really not take anything for that?
No, I want it.
International dibs law.
Kano's gonna stop playing and kind of put his hand on his sword to prepare for a quick draw.
I don't want to fight. And he kind of looks over at Kano. I was just hoping to show my prowess, win something. But I understand. Father, and he kind of looks over, and the one in blue robes kind of walks up with a big smile. Hi there. I'm very sorry if the son was rude to you. My name is Willard. It's very nice to meet the four of you. I understand that you all traveled into this town the same that we did, but our horses ran away, unfortunately, and we would very much be appreciative if you could give us a ride to the next town over to catch the caravan.
The caravan?
Yes.
Oh, I do.
Well, my son and I, we're hoping to get to Sione within the next few cycles. And we understand that the next town is a stop for the main caravan that passes through there.
Oh,
But it's
why
such a
does
long
everybody want to
walk.
go to Sione?
So,
Why on Miro? I don't know what Earth is.
so would the four of you, perchance, grant us passage on your wagon?
I look to Isaiah and I look to Kano.
Well, I don't see any reason why not.
What vibe? What vibe did you get from them?
Did you roll a vibe check?
I will
roll an insight. Oh my god.
What are the
Okay.
vibes?
So
He
the
has
vibe you get from
specialized.
the vibe you get from Baron, the younger one, he seems very agitated about the entire situation that's happening before him. You really can't get, even with that role, you can't quite narrow down what's going on with Willard right now. Because he's smiling. The smile looks fake, but there's also like, you know how a smile like goes up into your eyes? That looks real. The smile looks fake.
Oh, I don't like it, guys. The vibes are off.
Please, friend.
I'm sorry, man. The vibes are off.
Vibes are hardly scientifically rigorous. Yep, yeah.
No, but have you heard of the religion of vibes?
I'm going
Oh,
to sit here and if Yip Yap doesn't think something's right, shouldn't we take that into consideration? He may not be the most well-read of us, but he is, well, frankly, very emotionally in tune.
I never made it as a wise kobold.
are you all pious men? Religious?
Pie?
I am.
No, I don't like
Yes.
pie.
Balgroth.
I am.
Oh, well then you would of course offer a handout to your brethren, would you not?
Where are you
Who do you
from?
follow? Where am I from? I'm from Glenville. I travel.
What temple?
A newly established temple near the
Answer-
border.
Answer the question.
It doesn't have a name, I'm afraid.
I find that hard to believe.
Roll an insight, Kano. And where are you from?
I'm from the east as well.
Oh, I'm not from the east.
I'm going to put it like this. Temples are named when they're founded. They don't just go unnamed.
I would refer to it as a temple of the smiling god.
Can I roll a religion check on that?
Yes, you can.
Something does not seem right about that.
No,
Huh? Yeah?
no.
What? What's wrong,
Oh, no.
Steven?
You know what you've done.
Shut up.
What have you done?
Listen,
You know
I'm
you're
allowed
right.
to say whatever I want and reference
Kafka?
whatever I wish. Kano, you don't know what he's talking about.
Kafka?
This sounds...
Yes.
That doesn't sound correct.
Vibes are off,
Well,
man.
That god you worship doesn't sound like a god at all.
Well, that's one of his many names. Dolly, Vio, Twe. You don't
Am I
recognize any of those names either.
None of these names?
Well, it's a very Western religion, my friend.
Western?
Yes.
Balgroth, have you heard of this god?
I'm sorry, I can't. I am going to stick with what Yip Yap believes.
Balgroth just shrugs.
I thought you said you were a shrub for a second. I was like, what?
Balgroth turns into a shrub.
Suddenly, bush!
Trouble? No.
I have become a shrubbery.
Willard kind of like looks down a bit, disappointed, and then looks back up. Well, I understand. I understand the need to not, offer good graces to strangers immediately. And that's perfectly okay. You are of the younger generation. It makes perfect sense that you would be less trusting of those above you. The older, I don't mean that in any rude way, of course. I apologize. My way of speaking can come off as rude or sarcastic, but I promise I mean everything with genuine intent.
This man just said, "You're a friggin' child. No disrespect."
I mean, I just don't trust very well because a whole bunch of people killed everyone I ever knew and cared about.
Really?
Yeah.
And how does that
Oh.
make you feel?
Oh, you want
Don't
to know
answer
about
that.
Yip Yap No
Yip Yap.
Tail?
Yip Yap, do not answer that question.
You want to know about Yip Yap No Tail?
Yip
I'm very
Yap.
curious,
Oh,
actually,
No.
yes.
Oh God, here we go.
It makes me feel very angry.
And what would you like to do with that anger, my friend?
I would like to use it to destroy.
Balgroth, step in between this gentleman and Yip Yap. I have a bad feeling about this conversation.
Okay. And he slightly steps between the two.
Willard kind of looks at Balroth. Interesting. Well, I suppose my son and I will just have to find other transport. It will cost us a day, unfortunately, but what can you do?
Here. Kana's gonna walk up to one of them and give a gold piece to each of them. Look, it's not much, but it should help you get some transportation.
When you give the gold piece to Willard, he clasps your hand like this. Thank you.
May Spyros bless you on your journey.
Spyros. The beyond is what you worship?
Him and a devout servant as Kami Neokori.
You really are from the East, aren't you?
I
All
worship the
those
dragon.
talks of primordials, a dragon.
Spilkiraga. I will avenge him.
How interesting. You know, those who follow the primordials, those who follow dragons, they will never truly reach paradise.
And those who waste their time on fake gods will never know what it means to live.
Paradise is a world without those adventurers.
Go to a temple of a primordial. Don't waste your time.
I've been to plenty, my friend. Unfortunately, they just don't have the environment that I'm quite used to. I would rather go to a temple where I could directly speak with my god.
I used to live in a cave with my god. He was nice. And then some jerks killed him. But that's okay. I'll kill them.
I don't think you're speaking to a god.
Oh, but I am. He saved me. Saved me and my son. Showed me beautiful blinding light.
Is he still clasping on Kano's hand?
No, he let go. He let go
Okay.
after he said thank you. It would be funnier if he was, but no, he did let go. He showed me how to smile after a great tragedy in my life. I think you would find it very enlightening to speak with the smiling God.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble here, but I'm not speaking to any other god.
Balgroth is just silently watching this whole thing,
Son,
like not saying a word.
I don't intend to enact violence on anyone today or tomorrow or any time in my future. I'm not a violent man. There is no real violence under the smiling God. I only wish to show you the true way to happiness. But if you won't accept, that is of your own accord. I can't really do much to fully change your mind, I know. If you wish to continue following the beyond and the primordials, well, that is a limited worship, my friend. Well, thank you. Kano, for the coin. Maybe our paths will cross again. I hope they do.
On Spyros, I hope not. I don't have a good feeling about what will happen if we meet again.
I find it so intriguing, those who worship an idealized version of death. Would you not rather live?
All life ends, and judgment is necessary for that life.
Well, blessed be, and have a nice night. And he walks away with Baron towards the inn.
Oh, I think we just avoided being murdered by cultists.
Yeah, we're gonna take him.
Let's sleep on the road tonight. Let's get moving and sleep on the road.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be more comfortable in the wagon than sleeping on the road?
Yes, yep, that's what I meant.
Oh!
Balgroth slightly chuckles at that.
Did y'all? Those guys are weird. Those guys are strange.
The vibes are off.
So yeah, y'all can gather your stuff from the inn. You see Curate, who's just kind of like sitting at her desk, just kind of writing things down with her only hand.
Only hands.
Yeah, she doesn't have a left arm.
Wow, running this in costs an arm and a leg.
Hey!
Oof. So yeah, y'all collect your stuff and you head out. You guys head out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
As you'll leave the town, it's a very quiet night. Who is going to take first watch?
Kano will.
Okay. Roll a perception. Okay, Kano. As you lead the horses, the hellish horses, away from the town, in the grass that surrounds the path, the tall grass, there's varied movement shuffling through the grass towards the town as you leave. It doesn't ever leave the grass, but something not huge, but concerningly big is moving through the grass.
Isaiah,
What?
I think something's watching us.
Is it you?
No, it's something in the grass.
No. Where is it? Which grass?
Kano points to the movement in the grass.
Do I see anything?
You see the same kind of varied movement happening. And can the both of you make a wisdom save for me, please?
Wow, just a flat 18.
You guys hear whispering coming from that direction. Very garbled, monstrous whispering.
That doesn't sound good. Connor, go check it out.
Well, you have like a spell ready just in case it's not friendly.
Yes.
If they're arguing, does this wake up Yip Yap?
Dear God.
Yep, roll perception.
Haha.
It does. Roll a wisdom save.
Oh.
He's very wise, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, you're fine. You hear the whispering as well as you come to.
Kano's gonna jump off and go check the grass with his sword out.
So the grass kind of goes up to your shoulders in this area. It's very, very tall grass. And as you walk a little bit closer, you notice that the hard packed dirt that you're walking on kind of becomes muddier and almost clay-like as you walk on it. Make a strength save. Okay, yeah. You're able to like trudge through it, but it's much harder. And this whispering, this mumbling is getting louder until under the light of the almost 2 full moons in the sky, you see this mass of red flesh kind of moving atop of itself, and yellow eyes start to glint until they notice you, and it all stops very suddenly. It lets out a very loud, shrieking cry before racing in through the grass away from you.
What was that?
And this shriek would have also woken up Balgroth.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Well, that's not good.
So do I go out and see what's going on?
You go out to where Kano is standing. Kano, the ground has become packed dirt once again, and that whispering and mumbling has left, along with whatever you saw.
What was that? I'm done for the night. Someone else take the shift. I'm going to bed. I need to sleep.
Do you want to be asleep when it comes back?
I'm done. I'm done for the day. I simply do not want to deal with this anymore.
All
I am
right, I'll
going
take
to
watch.
bed.
I'll take watch. Go to bed. Go to
I
bed.
am going to bed. There is no stopping me. I need to go to sleep.
Okay.
That was enough. For
Balgroth basically goes. Okay.
What's going on? He's
back to
Yip
bed.
Yip. Yip Yip is like holding a kobold plushie.
Go back to bed, Yip Yap.
Oh. He lays back down. He just has the blanket over his nose instead of his hood.
So Isaiah's taking next watch?
Yeah.
Nothing really happens. Whatever made those mumbling and whispers, whatever shrieked like that, whatever moved the grass like that is long gone now. And you notice just a couple creatures, nighttime creatures walking through. Not much happens. Who takes the watch after Isaiah?
I do.
Alright. Once again, Balgroth, as you silently lead the horses along the path, you get this nagging in your head that you are used to. It's giving you instructions. It's telling you what you need to do next. And then it goes away. And you're left to your own devices and thoughts for the rest of the night. And then Yip Yap takes the final watch, I assume?
Sure.
Nothing happens.
This
And
is
the sun-
more alarming.
You watch the sunrise as you lead the horses along the path.
Ah, this is so nice having dark. Oh God! Natural light.
And yes, that is where we are going to end the session with the dawning of a new day. But yeah, that'll end the session. I hope everyone had fun.
Hope so too.
And I will see you all, next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.